Hey everyone, today I'll be confusing my channel subscribers even more by uploading this highly controversial video. If anyone even sees this, I'm gonna get a lot of spiteful comments, but it's just going to make this video a lot more fun. And also, it actually has a message I'm trying to convey. Stick true and I promise I'll make this worth your while. So yes, today I'll be explaining what the Manosphere is, and the groups that it consists of, in a bid to disambiguate the situation. Because yes, it can be kind of confusing. There are many terms and names, and in the end people just group us all together and think we're all women-hating Nazis who want nothing more than to beat up, assault and harass women 24/7. Keep in mind, however, that I plan to keep this video short and highly simplified, so you can spend your time doing your own research and coming to your own conclusion. Autonomy is something that will become very useful in gathering information on this topic. Let me begin by introducing you to the Manosphere. It is honestly a very stupid name, but it's a very useful umbrella term for the subject at hand here, so just bear with me. To begin, the Manosphere is kind of like a city. It is a city where people freely talk about men's rights and discuss about legal and social issues surrounding gender equality. Before you enter the city, of course, you should consult the pamphlet, the travel brochure, which will tell you all about the city's heritage and culture. This is more commonly referred to as taking the red pill, a reference to the film franchise, The Matrix. If you're not familiar with the movies, well, there is a pivotal moment in one of the films where the protagonist is offered with a choice: to take the red pill and experience truth, or to take the blue pill and live with falsehoods, the latter of which will guarantee happiness. In other words, ignorance is bliss. So, by reading the travel brochure and learning about men's rights, you're then brought into the city, the Manosphere. You'll begin to converse with its citizens and become immersed in its culture and practices. But like any other metropolitan city, the Manosphere is divided into many groups of persons. Like, say, San Francisco. You have the homeless drug addicts, the college kids struggling to survive, the harried young workers, and so on. There's a hierarchy of, friendliness and approachability, for want of a better comparison. Here, finally, I can explain to you the various groups of citizens you may encounter. I present to you this spectrum I've constructed, based on my experience on this mysterious thing they call the internet. On the extreme left, you have the extremists, and as you progress to the right, the chances of finding someone more reasonable increases. I'll be going through each of these groups one by one, starting with the red pillers. Don't be fooled by their name. The neutral term red pill has nothing to do with this group. They're a hive of scum and villainy, and honestly are better left on their own. They huddle in some dark corner and seldom go out to spook people. And as such, I don't really have much to say about them. Swiftly moving on, with the ever-popular group, the incels. The term is portmanteau of the phrase involuntary celibates. At its core, the group may have a point, a purpose of sorts. They argue that human courtship is unfair and biased against males, that it puts unnecessary pressure on them, that certain types of males face a grave disadvantage. I feel like this group of people are akin to females who are less confident of themselves and their body, and feel they're ugly and worthless. But in contrast, where these girls may channel their anger inwards and spite themselves, the incels channel their anger outwards, spewing hatred at the world. As such, while some of their activities can be harmless, such as conversing among themselves and just complaining, they can become very volatile, proposing ridiculous claims such as allocating a female sex slave to every male, claiming there is a mass conspiracy, taking the Chad versus Virgin meme too seriously, and even going out and committing an act of terror. And there are also two related groups, the brain cells, who think they are more intelligent than others because they reject society's standards, and the nice guys who focus on the dating scene and feel that women only like a certain group of men, i.e. the hard-asses. But the veracity of both these groups are dubious. I feel like these groups are small, but their size becomes exaggerated because of the internet memes and trolling, much like the anti-vax movement and the Flat Earth Society. In any case, the incel group can be dangerous, but we should observe the retort and wonder if they are a product of their own doings, or if there's a social issue we need to tackle to prevent the group from going further. The third group is more fascinating. Termed the MGTOWs, or men going their own way, this group has a more tangible approach to the same issue I explained earlier. People who subscribe to this ideology believe that there are legal and social drawbacks to engaging with women, such as the event of marriage, divorce, or even simply conversing with one. These people employ different approaches to the mantra, and there's even a tiered system to the whole gig. But to keep things simple, again, there are people who take it too far, and there are people who are fairly reasonable. Some people claim they completely avoid talking to women in their daily lives, decrying women and screaming global conspiracy once again, while others attempt to lead to healthier lives away from endless pursuits of sex, and some even make use of legal and scientific proof to advocate for a better world for all. I think what makes this group an excellent bunch is two things. One, the extremists like to seclude themselves, so the chances of you ever meeting them is virtually zero. 2. At the very core, MGTOW isn't so bad of a philosophy after all. To attempt to be independent, to enjoy life without external pressure, that isn't so bad, isn't it? And some of the legal and social issues they raise are genuine. Things like unfair custodial rights, alimony, and the stress and pressures of a marriage gone wrong. Quite unfortunately though, the people who practice MGTOW this way is admittedly a very small group. Oh well, there are a lot of resources about these people, so if you're interested, go ahead and observe with caution. It's genuinely interesting how they have evolved over the years. Finally, we arrive at quite possibly the best bunch of people in the entire city. The MRAs, or the men's rights activists. Seriously, we are very bad at making catchy and friendly names. I can't fault people for thinking we're all just a bunch of spiteful jackasses when they first hear of us. Anyhow, MRAs are the ones you may find the most reasonable. Some people may argue that the other people on the spectrum are MRAs, and you'll find a lot of people claiming to be one. But a real MRA is someone who makes use of the abundance of legal and scientific resources to fight for men's rights, using logic to form arguments as such. There are many groups of persons in this category, depending on what they're advocating for. Fathers' rights, criminal rights, schooling rights, etc. But the gist of it is that we are all trying to raise awareness for a myriad of ways that men are disadvantaged. With the rise of feminism, men are losing their voice and will gradually falling behind. There are many statistics that point to this, such as boys falling behind in education, the justice system failing treatment with equal decorum, the unfairness of child custody, and so on. Well, I'll leave it up to you to do your own research because I don't really want to make a 2-hour video preaching about everything. Summarily speaking, I really like this group not because I think they're the smartest or the most correct group, but because there's always discourse. People are always disagreeing, fighting, arguing, debating, and are fully ready to call each other out for bullshitting. It's not just one big circle jerk, or at least I like to believe anyway. If you make a claim, you have to make sure it's accurate, otherwise people will be crawling all over you. This is of course my personal experience on the men's rights subreddit, on Reddit itself, which I recommend you subscribe to as a starting ground, the travel brochure I mentioned earlier, so to speak. The MRA communities elsewhere may be less savory, but you can vouch for the Reddit community. To conclude, I must elaborate as to why this is important. While doing research on the earnings gap for a school project, I came across this graph in an article by Vox about a study by Princeton University. In essence, they found that both women and men earn the exact same in the working world, and the pay only differs once the woman experiences maternity leave. This is when she has to stop working to stay at home and care for a newborn child, so she loses out on experience and time at the office. And rightfully so, and hence, the company will not be increasing her pay or even paying her at all because she's no longer working. The Vox article goes on to ask if you are putting too much responsibility on women, but then I want to ask a different question. Are we putting too little responsibility on men? I mean, we are fathers too. Don't we deserve time off to look at our kids too? Sure, we are not the ones going through pregnancy, but we didn't impose that on women either. Let that be that, and even if you don't believe that, think this. If we have paternity leave, then both parents will miss out on work equally, and no gender will have an unfair footing. There will be no longer a discrepancy as shown in this graph. A simplified example, but think of the possibilities if we can just work together towards a common goal. This is why we need men's rights. Rather than a one-sided shouting match, we need both genders to come together and talk about the same issue in order to make progress and maintain peace. That is the essence of democracy. Thank you for watching and I hope you have become more interested in this topic. I urge you to conduct your own research from multiple sources. It's as simple as googling a topic and then reading the articles on the first page. The men's rights subreddit also has a wiki page of starter issues you can investigate. Links are in the description below. Let me know in the comments if you have any questions or criticisms, or simply comment if you have any other useful resources or topics you'd like to share with others. Have a nice day.